Air Action Bigger Soul. Keep it fresh.
Benvenuti nel più grande salone di autovetture aziendali chilometri zero e usate d'Italia, il Car Village Fassina. Solo al Car Village trovi un'esposizione di oltre 10.000 metri quadri dedicati interamente alle vetture usate e alle chilometri zero. Tutte le migliori marche del mercato, auto controllate e garantite con arrivi giornalieri per soddisfare le esigenze dell'automobilista moderno. Una scelta incredibile, una qualità indiscutibile. Per la tua nuova vettura usata, scegli il Car Village Fassina.
Ciao a tutti, benvenuti in Bike House. Quest'anno una grandissima novità per la sede di Varese, la vediamo qui MV. Quindi vi aspettiamo in Viale Belforte 2, io e Stefano, per scoprire la gamma, l'abbigliamento e giù in Officine Ragazzi per il service dedicato. Non mancate!
Grande promo sulla nostra gamma 350, Forza 350 colori 2025, il modello è identico, 5.940 franco concessionario e ADV 350 6.590 franco concessionario con il bauletto originale di serie. Godono oltretutto del finanziamento senza interessi di Agos Ducato by Honda, ma solo da Motostar.
Quando senti un suono così non è solo un motore, è il richiamo di Ducati Milano. Da Ducati Milano trovi tutta la gamma Ducati, offerte imperdibili e test ride dedicati. Ducati Milano, passa a trovarci e scegli la tua prossima moto.
Amo di Moto Saronno dal 1945 vi aspetta con tutte le nostre offerte nuove. Gamma Kawasaki, Fuji Motor, Moto Guzzi, SVM, KL, Mondial e tanto altro. Insomma, vi aspetto con i veicoli nuovi e anche con tutto il parco usato. Via Novara 28, Amo di Moto Saronno. Ti aspetto.
Ciao a tutti da Max di Stamoto. Stamoto ti mette in moto, specialmente con una casa nipponica come la Suzuki. Veniteci a trovare qui in via Miano 18 perché Suzuki parte con delle promo sensazionali. Su tutti i modelli ci sono delle promo veramente convenienti. Quindi cosa aspettate? Veniteci a trovare, soluzioni finanziarie personalizzate. Stamoto ti mette in moto e Max è qui che ti aspetta.
Ciao ragazzi da Motor Times, disponibile in pronta consegna tutta la gamma Naked di Yamaha. Vi aspettiamo per vederle e provarle a Saronno e Lignano. Ciao ciao!
First, Mick Grant on the Suzuki, 15 points. Second, Roger Marshall, Honda, 12 points. And third, Ray Swan on the Yamaha, 10 points. So now it's over to our commentators, Peter Clifford and Chris Carter.
So, the second round of the new Motorcycle News Superstock Series, and this really promised us to be an interesting and exciting race. Mick Grant, of course, the winner, there to the left of your picture, and next to him, Steve Parrish, who was second fastest in practice here. Roger Marshall, who was second in at Brands, is third quickest, and joining them on the front row of the grid will be Mark Sal and Keith Hewan. So, some interesting, well-known names on some rather interesting and unusual motorcycles. Of course, production racing of one kind or another has grown all over the world, particularly in America, where superbike racing, it's actually ousted Grand Prix-style motorcycles from their positions on the racetrack. Peter, you're a man who's ridden production bikes from time to time. Are you pleased to see the way it's going?
Yes, I think it's a great thing. I mean, it will bring all the forms of motorsport all over the world together, I think.
So, the red flag is up and away they go. A quick start, and it's Keith Hewan. Keith Hewan on the outside, number 16, who's got a super start. Number 6, Steve Parrish in the middle of your picture. Mick Grant, number 10, and Roger Marshall. And it's Steve Parrish who's made the break. Steve Parrish and Keith Hewan first and second. And we see around Redgate that modern road bikes are, well, not too bad at all on handling as the pack charges down trainer curves with Steve Parrish out in front. Well, Steve rode this bike at Daytona. He's done an awful lot of racing miles on it, so he knows exactly how it works and handles as the pack charge through all sorts of bikes there, Suzuki's, Hondas, Yamahas, absolutely everything you can possibly think of. And it's Hewan there in your picture, bike number 16. I think he's in second place. Roger Marshall is number 11, because out in front is Steve Parrish. There's the race leader, Steve Parrish, number 6. on the Yamaha. Well, knee out, it's an all-action style, because these bikes don't handle quite as well as racing bikes would, but they're quick, 150 miles an hour, and they handle well enough indeed. Steve Parrish the leader at the moment, Keith Ewan in second, and Roger Marshall third.
Well, we already see Mick Grant up into fourth place, the pole position man.
So at the end of the first lap, it's Steve Parrish number 6, number 11 Roger Marshall, 16 Keith Ewan, and number 10, that's Mick Grant. Grant, the winner of the opening round of this championship. There's Ewan, and Keith was having regular daily contacts with his new mechanic, New Zealand mechanic, when he was in South Africa, watching the progress of this bike being built, as Parrish leads the charge. Marshall is second, Ewan is third, and Mick Grant, well, good old Mick Grant, 40 years of age, could be father, in fact, to some of these lads, giving away 20 years to some of them, but going strong, the winner of the opening round at Brands Hatch yesterday, and Michael Grant from Lepton Grange, near Huddersfield in Yorkshire, in fourth place at the moment, and looking good. He was fastest in practice on the Suzuki. This is an 8th lap race. They're on their second lap as Roger Marshall on the Honda gets closer, Keith Ewan on his Yamaha, and then Mick Grant on the Suzuki. So we've got a nice variety of bikes out in front, and it looks so, and Keith Ewan loses third place to Mick Grant with a very fierce and positive piece of overtaking there, Peter.
Yes, he certainly took Keith Ewan's line, didn't he, as they approached the braking marker.
So, 2 laps gone. Steve Parrish, the race leader. Roger Marshall is second. Mick Grant now in third place. Keith Ewan in fourth position. And 6 laps to go then. No change in the leading 4. Bike number 6, that's Steve Parrish. And Roger Marshall, though, getting ready with the charge. Roger Marshall, who was second in France, looking for the outside line. But Parrish is on the better line, and Marshall has to ease off for a moment. But Marshall can't take too long, because Grant is getting closer and closer. Steve Parrish finished 5th in the opening round at France yesterday. You can see Mick Grant behind bike number 10. He's getting closer. Grant on the Suzuki, so it's a Yamaha leading a Honda, leading a Suzuki. 750cc road-going bikes, open exhaust, racing tyres, but very close indeed, Peter, to production machines.
Yes, they're all the 4-cylinder, 4-strokes that you can buy to ride on the road. They look very similar, and all that's been changed are things like the brakes and a bit of the suspension.
And here comes Granty again. Grant is through to second place. Same overtaking manoeuvre as before, and they all go very quickly to the chicane. Roger Marshall almost lying the bike on Mick Grant, but Grant is the new second place man. It's Parrish as the leader, and it does the old imaginary jockey job, and so does Roger Marshall. More speed, don't they? Parrish number 6 the leader, number 10 Mick Grant in second place, 11 Roger Marshall is third in third spot, and 4th still Keith Ewan, but Keith really at the moment little more than a spectator.
And all these bikes are putting out about 100 brake horsepower, but Grant, that's the second place man, number 10, is a little bit lighter and comes out of the corners better, as we see Marshall nip inside Grant. Number 11 Roger Marshall nips inside number 10 Mick Grant.
And the fine overtaking manoeuvre there by Roger Marshall. You can see the bike bobbing and weaving there, but Marshall hangs on to second place, but that mistake forced Grant to ease off a little bit, and in the ensuing confusion, Steve Parrish has managed to extend his look, and look at Grant. Well, he almost looked as though he got another gear there, but Marshall's not getting in. Marshall's on the wide line, Steve almost on the tarmac. Ewan's catching them now. Well, it's a 4-way dice, and certainly Keith Ewan will be delighted with this. And there goes Mick Grant almost pushing Roger Marshall as they go down the back straight. Well, they're coming up to the halfway stage now. 4 laps gone in this 8 machine battle. 4 laps gone, 4 more to go. Parrish, Grant, Marshall and Ewan. And Ewan is very much in the picture now. Well, I think Keith is just sounding things out, and he looks as though he's going to go through into third place. And 1.18 seconds the gap between first and fourth, so just over a second separating the first 4 men as they go out through Hollywood down into Craner Curve on this, the 5th lap. And Grant looks as though he's ready to pounce. has led this race throughout. But any minute now, Grant is going to make the challenge.
And note the very contrasting styles. It's only Grant, the second place man, who sits upright on his machine. Everybody else hangs wildly off because these production bikes do run out of ground clearance when fitted with racing tyres, which allow extraordinary angles of lead.
So, Grant, number 10, he's in second place. Behind him, Roger Marshall, number 11. Fourth is number 16, Keith Ewan. But the man in front is number 16, Parrish. But Grant's pulling out on the slipstream. Grant has a look, sideways look at Steve Parrish. He's going to let Steve go through this time, but he's just shown his hand a little bit there. Parrish hangs on. It's the end of the 5th lap. 3 laps to go. Parrish, Grant, Marshall and Ewan. And Ewan is also quick coming out. And Ewan goes through into 3rd place, but Marshall is back on the inside line. I think Marshall will regain 3rd spot. He does. Parrish, Grant, Marshall, Ewan. And it's now 3/4 of a second, 0.75 of a second between 1st and 4th. Well, who could ask for a better television debut for this class of racing? And Marshall seizes the moment. Mick Grant just dozing a little bit. I suppose poor old Michael nodding off a bit at his age. Parrish up, still there in front, but Marshall now in 2nd place. Grant in 3rd. And it's possible, isn't it? Michael might find himself back in 4th spot because Ewan is pressing hard there in 4th place.
These bikes, of course, both physically heavier than the Grand Prix machines the men usually ride. They're heavier to steer, but of course they have the wider, bigger handlebars, which means that the men can wrestle with the machines easier than they can the small clip-ons, as Grant goes back into 2nd place.
Well, I think Michael was fooling with them because I think his bike is the quickest one out there, Peter. And he goes back up to 2nd place, but Roger Marshall tries to outbrake and has to ease off as Grant goes. Of course he fouls on the left-hander on the exit. 2 laps to go now. It's Parrish, number 6, Grant, number 10. 16 is Ewan going into 3rd place. 11 is Marshall, and Marshall again goes back on the inside line and regains 3rd spot.
Now Grant may be playing a clever game here. He has the fastest machines, but of course with 4 other bikes in the race, it's a very tricky thing to do. He can't leave it really till the last corner, as 3 other bikes could get in his way. With a one-man battle between him and Parrish, the leader, number 6, he could leave it till that last dash down towards the start and finish.
So Grant, presumably awaiting game the 6th lap spot. They're on their 7th in this 8-lap battle. Parrish, number 6, still leads on the Yamaha. Grant on the Heron Suzuki there in 2nd spot, bike number 10 just behind this man. There you can see it, Berslin, a road-going motorcycle, not a lot of modifications to it. Noiser, of course, from the wide numbers down the high street. So 6 is Parrish, 10 is Grant, 11 is Marshall, and 16 is Ewan. And you can see there the pace of the Suzuki. Now will Parrish go through on the inside? He can't, but Ewan's up in 3rd. So Grant is the leader.
Air Action Vigor Soul. Keep it fresh.
Sono Gianandrea, concessionario Fassina, salone DR Evo. Tutta la gamma in pronta consegna a vostra disposizione. Abbiamo ancora disponibili alcuni esemplari della DR5 Turbo CVT e abbiamo già disponibile la nuovissima DR5 Model Year 2026. Tutto a disposizione per voi. Vi aspetto!
Ciao a tutti da Motor Times, disponibili nelle sedi di Saronno e Legnano tutta la gamma scooter 2026 in pronta consegna. Vi aspettiamo per vederlo e provarli. Ciao!
Amo di Moto Saronno dal 1945 vi aspetta con tutte le nostre offerte nuove. Gamma Kawasaki, Fuji Motor, Moto Guzzi, SVM, KL, Mondial e tanto altro. Insomma, vi aspetto con i veicoli nuovi e anche con tutto il parco usato. Via Novara 28, Amo di Moto Saronno. Ti aspetto!
Ed eccole le super enduro di casa Honda con le fantastiche offerte per le colorazioni 2025. Africa Twin 1100 Adventure Sports 19.390 franco concessionario, incluso il pacchetto Travel ufficiale Honda, oppure il modello ES con sospensioni elettroniche a 16.390 col pacchetto Easy Travel incluso, e dulcis in fundo Transalp 750 nelle livree 2025 a 9.600 euro franco concessionario. Per maggiori informazioni visita il sito www.motostar.it.
Ciao a tutti da Max di Stamoto. Stamoto ti mette in moto, specialmente con una casa nipponica come la Suzuki. Veniteci a trovare qui in via Miano 18 perché Suzuki parte con delle promo sensazionali. Su tutti i modelli ci sono delle promo veramente convenienti. Quindi cosa aspettate? Veniteci a trovare, soluzioni finanziarie personalizzate. Stamoto ti mette in moto e Max è qui che ti aspetta.
Quando senti un suono così non è solo un motore, è il richiamo di Ducati Milano. Da Ducati Milano trovi tutta la gamma Ducati, offerte imperdibili e test ride dedicati. Ducati Milano, passa a trovarci e scegli la tua prossima moto.